my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I have received some more information from my sources regarding the upcoming Kenobi series on Disney+. Kathleen Kennedy had previously let it be known that Darth Vader would be appearing in Kenobi, which was a troublesome admission for a lot of fans, given the time period Kenobi is set in, sometime between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, when Vader finding Kenobi would have been problematic, to say the least, in terms of canon. At that time, I reported a rumor regarding how Vader would be handled in Kenobi, and as it turns out, this news source seems to have independently verified that earlier rumor, much to my relief, because frankly, any other use of Vader would have been a massive mistake. And I have to tell you, from what I've been told of Kenobi at this point, I think this show actually has a chance of being good. I'm wrestling with how much I should tell you because I don't want to spoil anything, so moving forward you will get some light spoilers, assuming of course that these rumors are correct in the first place. That said, at this point, I'd like to make it very clear that what you're about to hear is information provided to me by a source claiming to have inside information about Kenobi, a source that has been vetted by my Hollywood spies. But since I cannot independently verify what I'm about to tell you, I must present this information as unverified rumor and ask you to please take it with a grain of salt.
So you're actually telling us that you're optimistic about Kenobi? After a history that could be described as tumultuous and tenuous, if you happen to have a copy of Roget's Thesaurus handy?
I am Harvey Cthulhu. From what I've heard, they're approaching this series with respect. And the chance to see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader again is very exciting indeed. Now, in regard to its checkered development history, fans will recall that Kenobi was announced way back in August of 2019 and was set to start shooting early in 2020 until production was suspended for reasons that are still not clear. The official story goes that production was halted when, faced with required rewrites, screenwriter Hossein Amini quit and left the production somewhat adrift.
I tend to be fairly skeptical about that official reason, Doomcock. I mean, if they were that close to shooting, the scripts must have been pretty much finished, and I doubt that they would have stopped everything dead in its tracks just because one particular screenwriter left the project.
Indeed, Harvey. I suspect that while the screenwriter left the project, the reasons for the projected rewrites were the real reason for the delay. Anyone could have been hired to do a polish. They certainly wouldn't have made the extremely expensive decision to halt production for something that minor. Screenwriters come and go in Hollywood, so I suspect a major revision was needed. Some say that the scripts were super woke, as is Kennedy's way in such things, and that one or more of the killer bees hit the brakes on Kenobi to avert another Last Jedi-like catastrophe, and this was going to take some time. Then the coof hit and that sent things back a lot worse, but at this point the production is well underway and we are on track to see Kenobi in the near future. And from what I've heard, I am very encouraged that Kenobi has at least a chance to kick some really serious ass.
Well, first of all, what's the situation with Obi-Wan fighting Darth Vader again? How could this happen without disrupting canon and being cheesy fan service? Because look, Obi-Wan was hanging out on Tatooine, looking after Luke from a distance. So if Vader came to Tatooine and found Obi-Wan there, game over, man. Game over. Obi-Wan can no longer just hang out there, right? I mean, Vader isn't just going to go away after finding him there without returning.
Well, they could devise some kind of story where Kenobi leaves Tatooine briefly to take care of some business, maybe to help out another surviving Jedi being hunted. You could get him off Tatooine for all sorts of reasons.
Although remember what Vader said to Obi-Wan in the one true Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi, we meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Well, that's not the case if he meets Vader as Vader between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Vader sure as hell ain't no learner. ain't his Padawan anymore, so that would seem to be a huge problem. Not true even from a certain point of view. So what do your sources say about how they get around this problem?
To best answer that, Harvey, here's a short excerpt from my previous video addressing this rumor. Let's take a look.
So if Vader comes back in Kenobi, it's gonna ruin the original film.
Well, it would. But if this rumor is true, the damage won't be so bad. According to my source, and this is where the potential spoiler comes in, folks, a major part of the Kenobi series will center around Obi-Wan on Tatooine blaming himself for Anakin's fall and the fall of the Jedi Order. And thus it will come to pass that Hayden Christensen will reprise his role as Darth Vader and will haunt Obi-Wan in his dreams.
Oh shit, like Bobby Ewing coming out of the shower in Dallas, dude?
No, Harvey. More like Vader will haunt Obi-Wan in dreams and visions, and they will fight again, but in a dream, or even possibly in a nexus of the dark side of the Force, like when Luke fought Vader in the cave in Empire Strikes Back. It will basically end by Kenobi killing Vader anew, realizing that what he did was necessary, and coming to terms with the situation.
So if this rumor is true, Vader will serve as a metaphor for Obi-Wan's guilt, which he will vanquish.
That is what the source has told us. Yet another source has now confirmed that Kenobi will face Darth Vader nightly in his dreams, fighting and losing the battle over and over again. Vader is part of Obi-Wan's subconscious guilt at training Anakin and failing to keep him on the light side of the Force. It's an outstanding metaphor. We'll get lots of battles, none of which will violate canon or stretch into cheesy fan service, if, of course, these multiple sources are correct on this plot point. Obviously, this could be disinformation designed to throw us all off, so all I can attest at this point is I've been told this by multiple sources, and I personally think this is an elegant solution from a more civilized age of Star Wars production.
So what else have you been told about the plot to Kenobi?
I've been given a broad overview of the series, which I'm not going to share at this point because I really don't want to spoil the show. The only reason I broke the rumor about Kenobi facing Vader in his dreams originally is I felt it would assuage fans' fears about this show, that it was good news and would be a relief to fans like me who reacted to news that Kenobi would face Vader in a rematch by rolling their eyes and smacking their heads. That said, I'm prepared to share a few tidbits about what's coming that really shouldn't spoil anything in any specific way.
Well, play that funky music, white boy. What do we have to look forward to on Kenobi?
I can tell you that according to these rumors, this show will get deep into Kenobi's psyche in a way that suggests a depth that's been missing from Disney Star Wars thus far. Kenobi will be riddled with guilt, suffering from a kind of PTSD over the monstrous consequences of his actions. After all, Kenobi did train Vader. While it's true that he was only honoring Master Qui-Gon's dying wish, there's no escaping the fact that he failed the Jedi Order, that because of him all their deaths are on his head. His nightly fights with Vader in his dreams are indicative of his inner struggle to work through this guilt. This seems like a pretty serious attempt to tell a dramatic story, and I'm thinking if they don't Disney-fy the hell out of this show, it has a chance to be the best Disney Star Wars show thus far. I am told that the destruction of Mandalore at the hands of the Empire, the so-called Night of Tears, will play a part in this series as a woman from Kenobi's past seeks Kenobi's help to save Mandalore. Problem is, tormented by guilt and doubt, Kenobi will need to come to terms with his role in training Anakin before he can become the man he once was. I am also told that one way or another, Yoda will make an appearance in this series as well.
Well, will it be Empire Strikes Back uber cool Yoda with Kung Fu grip? Or will he be retconned into Surrender Monkey defeatist Jedi Temple destroying Yoda from Last Jedi?
Oh, don't look for any Disney sequel trilogy bullshit moving forward, Harvey. That trash ain't in the cards anymore, as far as I've been told, since the sequel trilogy is being decanonized according to multiple sources at this point. Of course, the minute they bring in Rey or Holdo or any Canto Bite bullshit, It's game over, and fans tricked briefly into being optimistic will flee the franchise, as if fleeing a charging rabid bantha with a reggae band stuck up its ass, playing Don't Worry Be Happy over and over again with their amps turned up to 11.
That band alone would make me flee. I think reggae all sounds the same, like Zydeco, rap, and songs by Bjork.
Well, at this point, John and Dave, I trust, know better than that. There's a reason they won the Lucasfilm Civil War, Harvey, and I pray to God they've learned their lesson. So overall, Harvey, I think we've got some potentially exciting things ahead in Kenobi, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing its premiere. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Ha 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 ha.